A very good afternoon to you all. Thank you for watching Uganda Broadcasting Corporation. My name is Wadulo Markarnold, and this is the weekly news roundup edition of the Lunchtime News, the bulletin that brings you some of those stories that made highlights within the week. So without further ado, let's get straight into the bulletin. In our story, firstly, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni earlier this week was in Kenya's capital, Nairobi, for a state visit at the invitation of President William Ruto. The president's visit aimed at strengthening the long-standing bilateral relations between Uganda and Kenya and exploring new avenues for collaboration and mutual benefits. On arrival, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni was received at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport by a delegation from the Kenyan government led by the Honorable Dr. Musalia Mudavadi, the Prime Cabinet Secretary and Cabinet Secretary for Foreign and Diaspora Affairs. On the Ugandan side, he was with the Right Honorable Rebecca Kadaga, the First Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of East African Community Affairs, among other dignitaries. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni's visit in Kenya signifies the commitment of both leaders to foster regional integration, enhance economic cooperation, and promote stability within the East African region. During his stay, the president engaged in high-level discussions with President Ruto and other Kenyan government officials. The discussions covered a wide range of topics, including trade and investment, infrastructure, development, security and cooperation, and regional integration. The visit helped to strengthen the economic ties between Uganda and Kenya, with a focus on removing barriers to trade and fostering an enabling business environment. The leaders explored opportunities for increased investment and collaboration, aiming to harness the full potential of the East African region. And then again, on his return, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni encouraged people of Sembabule, Gomba, and Kisozi to embrace zero grazing to increase milk yields and enhance their incomes. He also urged them to share wealth in form of shares rather than dividing it among families. President Museveni was at a familiarization meeting where ministers were present to get acquainted with the model farms introduced to support people's livelihoods. Ivan Carr reported.
Cabinet has paid a courtesy visit to the farmers in Sembabule district to assess the progress of the model farms introduced by His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, aimed at enhancing people's livelihoods.
Naye 2011 newajiwa omusomo ogwa paadi. Museveni yatugabira ebintu ebyo okulima kasooli n'emmwanyi naye ffe tugamba twagala kirime kya mmwanyi era makituwa mbungi.
From the onset, families were involved in maize production, which proved to be unsuccessful. But later, they embarked on coffee production, which has by far uplifted many of the families in Sembabule district.
Tulina yike eziwera abiri nga tuzigula mu mmwanyi za President Museveni ze yatuwa nga tukungula. Twatuma tukwekulaakulanya tulyoke tulabe ebirala. Were teeka abaana mu masomero, kati situkyabikola tufungula bulungi ne tutuzayo abaana mu masomero. Nituzayo akasente n'akalala akasigadde ne kakola ebintu bye twagala. Atukulakula nnyo ekitiibwa n'amapoloti tuguze.
The Vice President of the Republic of Uganda, Major Jessica Alupo, headed a team of cabinet and state ministers, including the heads of the legislative and the judicial arm of government, to get first-hand information on how the model farms have impacted people's livelihoods.
Ministers, this farmer has 4.5 acres of coffee, and from those 4.5 acres of coffee, he gets 36 million annually, and he has 300, they call them stools of bananas. Scientifically, they are stools of bananas. And from those bananas, he gets 24 million annually.
Other dignitaries include the Central Executive Committee members of the ruling party and other top officials in the National Resistance Movement. The officials also engaged with and appreciated testimonies from the best model farmers in dairy, agriculture and the 4-acre model in Sembabule, Gomba and Chisozi.
Ente magana ana waziteza mu mitwaro 5 buri mezi 5 nubona ukora amagoba ga miliyoni 200.
400 cows every 5 months with a profit of 500, he makes 200 million.
Omwaka notunga miliyoni 800 oyireho expenses oyireho sente zo mbazi na byona
30 za kartuti. Ntukusima presidenti okatretera project ya sembegu ya estate
ni kwebaza okora project z'abanyayuganda zono kaziha mutoka itera kibuno kakoreya bihingi okakoreya bashubuzo okakoreya bariso okakoreya buri muntu otarihe oketorora buri mu wena
na yebare is saying that Uganda yatunga is of the impression that everybody in Uganda is rich because for him he is now rich.
According to the president, in the early 90s, when he bought land in Chisozi, he found that people were suffering in poverty, which prompted him to embark on programs for livelihood enhancement.
They had no problem with poverty. They were just there. So I started talking with them. Then I brought my groups here, Mrs. Kakwenzile, Lydia Baremezi. They came here, and we now, because the people around here, some of them are cultivators, I gave them the 4 acres model, which is what we put in the manifesto of 1996.
Farmers also relayed challenges, including cattle diseases, that affect their operations and businesses, though some reported having received vaccines for their cattle.
batuyambe batumare hezwa bagema magana gitu tukore sente farming ermwe sente yebarewe kitinisa nitwe ntibasa tukatunge sente ahabwawe
twine na katare kamate amate ntugakamano bagagura shilingi 5 ahadayare omukani bagatwihira shilingi 4 nabo icyo twine ntasi.
The president encouraged people to migrate from free range to zero grazing to increase milk yields.
Hatoro ejonyo huru inaza kubatamu okubagira ntumwene entezo ebyokusetuka ente nishisho munyatsi muhingiro munyatsi muitemere zirire hamwe nijakama mnongo kukira hato gwirukama. That's the message, that you go from free range to zero grazing.
He also advised homesteads to share wealth in the form of shares rather than dividing it. Ivan Kahwa and Dan Lugemwa, UBC News.
Furthermore, from this week, pilgrims from Nebi Diocese spent the Saturday night at St. Joseph Catholic Church in Wobulenzi, Ruero district as they warmed up for the last days of the Namugongo trek. Our reporter Robert Onyango trailed with the pilgrims and filed this report.
The team of 500 pilgrims which set off from Nebi Diocese on May 15, 2024 has arrived in Ruero district. Having spent the Friday night at Kasana Ruero Diocese in Ruero, the pilgrim left for Wobulenzi on the Saturday morning.
There is nobody who could come all the way from Nebi to here to move without any intention. We all have our intention.
I, for myself, I also have my own particular intentions as a father. I need some favor from God through the intercession of matters of Uganda. The first time Nebi animated was 2007. I was 8 in senior 3 and I could not walk. I promised myself when that time comes, I must walk.
Eric Mugumbaro and David are among the people with disabilities trekking to Namugongo.
We have not yet faced mass challenges, but you know, in a journey like this, challenges are always there, but though not much, because as you can see, many of you have been following in the social media, on TV. You have seen the zeal the pilgrims are having. Yeah, they are having the energy. Their target is reaching Namugongo, and they are being inspired by what they are praying for.
The journey is well going. Nothing much bad, but I have one problem with my bike, which I've already called one of my friends. Is now there in Kawempe. When we reach there, he's going to repair it from there.
After the prayer, I want to go back to Pakwach when I have already changed, not like the one I have come, because the prayer is the one taking me there.
Solomon Mungoromo, an 11-year-old pupil in Primary 6 at Paida Glorious Primary School, is among those heading to Namugongo.
I move now 1 week.
For Solomon, who wants to be a doctor in future, is heading to Namugongo to pray for financial support to his family.
I'm working to get a person who can pay for his school fees.
The youngest, God Inspiration, says if St. Kizito Muto of 14 years could 14 could sacrifice to die for following others, why not him? He also says he has school fees problem, the parents need money, so he thinks that by walking in faith in prayer, God may change his story.
It is only 56 kilometers left for the Nebi Diocese journey to Namugongo, and the pilgrims are expected to march to Namugongo shrines on either 29th or 30th May 2024.
I thank God really, these people, God I think already touched them ahead. They see the hand of God in helping and welcoming these pilgrims, even in those places where there are no primary schools, where the Catholic Church there is not well established, the Protestant ones come in. If you see along the road, the way Christians, even people of God are welcoming, others give water, others give banana, money, whatever they have, others greet, others just wish well. It has been very good.
We are at St. Joseph Catholic Church here in Wabulenzi, Luwero district, and this place is where the pilgrims from Nebi Catholic Diocese are going to spend the Saturday night before picking up the journey either tomorrow on Sunday or Monday this week as they make their final lap to Namugongo Martyrs Shrines for this year's Martyrs Day celebrations. Robert Onyango, UBC News, here in Wabulenzi.
Well, thank you very much, Robert Onyango. We do look forward to more updates later on today. Now, with just 8 days left to the 3rd of June, the Uganda Martyrs Day celebration, we look into the history of martyrdom of Joseph Mukasa Balikudembe. St. Joseph Mukasa Balikudembe, a patron of the chiefs and the politicians, was killed on November 15, 1885 at the age of 25 under the command of the then King of Buganda, Mwanga Mukabya II. Susan Nawonga visited the spot where the martyr Balikudembe was killed from and filed this report.
St. Balikudembe Market, also known as the Wino Market, was named after one of the Catholic martyrs, St. Joseph Mukasa Balikudembe. Balikudembe was murdered alongside other Christians for refusing to renounce his faith to the then brutal ruler, Kabaka Mwanga II.
Kabaka n'agamba nti bagende bamutte. Mukasa ekyamuvaamu n'agamba nti ssebo Kabaka okutta kibi. Waaliwo abaamuwulira ate nga bukimanyi bulungi nnyo nti Kabaka taddibwamu.
In the middle of this market, the foundation of Joseph Balikudembe, where he was believed to have been beheaded from, his body burnt to ashes on a Sunday of November 15th, 1885.
Tibali bagamba bugambe nti Kabaka oyo Mukasa yeegasse na bali okumalawo obwakabaka bwo. Bwe kityo Kabaka n'agamba bagende bamutta oba ayagala kumalawo obwakabaka bwange. Ogenda Kabaka ogenda okufuluma nti Mukasa abadde akola ebintu ebirungi, abasomi bayina eddembe okusoma nga be baagala, nga Mukasa bamaze okumuggyako omutwe.
Through the years, the center has flourished to the legacy of St. Balikudembe martyrdom and now hosts several daily prayer services.
Saba ekintu kyonna ky'osaba toyinza butakifuna. Era kikuwa
endowooza nti edda baatugambanga nti buli omu omulimu gwe yali akolera agukolera buli w'okimusaba akikuwa.
In commemoration of the matter, believers convene for the 9 days novena prayer every month of May. Prayer to 3rd June, Martyrs Day celebration. At the service led by Father Cosmos Segawa, believers were challenged to reflect on their actions while emulating acts of the martyrs.
Eno gy'olimu naawe weetondera Omukama ogamba ayi Mukama ekyo kye nakola kyaki kibi tekisanyusa naye nze nkusaba nange wadde nakikola naye nsaasira onzigulirewo omukisa gwange guleme kuziyizibwa ntuuke ku ekyo kyenkola ki kyenduubulira. Abatuukirivu abajulizi aba Uganda naffe baatugulirawo emikisa gyaffe nga bayiwa omusaayi.
The center attached to Mengo Chisenyi became a landmark, providing a sacred space for worship, reflection and community engagement.
Wenzijamba mbanzize kulamaga awaafira abajirizi era tufunawo ebyamagero bingi bwe tubasaba tuddibwamu musaala zaffe.
At this same place is where Athanasius Bazeketa was killed on May 1886 at the age of 20, also on the orders of Kabaka Mwanga. Athanasius was one of the king's trustworthy, faithful and obedient servants in charge of the king's ceremonial robes, ornaments, treasury and the ivory. He joined Catholicism and became a devoted catechumen, something that led to his death. He is the patron of those in charge of finance, treasury and banks. Nonetheless, with its significance, the site of martyrdom is now under threat of eviction by unknown persons claiming to be landlords.
Ye twafuna obuzibu obw'omukulembeze gwe bayita Saadi oyo yeyita chairman w'ekitundu kino. Sebo buli kantu konna ke tukola atulemesezza. Omwala twabadde tusibye ebyuma yaleese bakifeesi ne bajja ne babijjako.
Joseph Mukasa Balikudembe was sanctified by Pope Benedict XV in 1920, together with the 21 fellow martyrs. They were then proclaimed canonized saints by Pope John Paul VI in 1964. Susan Naung and Andrew Sebira reporting for UBC TV.
Munyonyo Martyrs Shrine in Kampala is believed to be the starting point for the journey of Uganda martyrs towards their end. It is said to have been the judgment area by Kabaka Mwanga before they were trekked to Namugongo Martyrs Shrine for execution. The exact point at which the Kabaka sat to hear and judge the cases is a special tree that has existed since 1886, a history still living. Now Henry Okrut managed to visit the spot and now reports.
It is cool breeze here at Munyonyo Catholic Martyrs Shrine in Kampala. This is attributed to the area vegetation that has grown both naturally and artificially. Among the natural features is this muafu tree. It is believed to be over 140 years old.
So Kampala capital city confirmed that this is the oldest tree in Kampala.
Locally known as Mpafu, it is a living witness to the history of the Uganda martyrs. This is so, especially in 1886, when they met their unfortunate death.
This tree was here in 1886 when the martyrs were sentenced to death, and it is still here. From this tree, it's believed that it's where the journey of Uganda martyrs started from. From this very location, they walked from here to Namugongo. This tree is so special that it's found in a holy place and it produces incense, and that it's the living witness that we still have, which witnessed the execution or the sentencing of the Christians, the current Uganda martyrs, to death by King Mwanga.
Its existence is not so known. This makes pilgrims excited whenever they learn of it. Management has had to protect it from pilgrims cutting its pieces.
This tree produces incense, so we gazetted it to stop pilgrims from cutting it. Whenever I would be having pilgrims, they would want to cut the tree and take pieces of it since it is found in the holy place and it produces incense. So we gazetted it to protect them, to protect the tree from the pilgrims from cutting it so that it can live a little bit longer.
It is surrounded by other tree species, both natural and artificial, including eucalyptus, palm trees, mangoes, and sausage trees. Ironically, this dwarf tree is the only species here. This makes it special.
This tree is not well known. People who come to visit the site, when they are told about the tree, it's when they find it amazing and they want to know more about its history. It no longer bears the seeds or the fruits, so people are unable to take the species of it like from here to go and plant them.
The bravery and devotion of the Uganda Martyrs is what makes this tree special. Their journey to martyrdom is one often described as the blood of martyrs, being the seed of Christians.
So we have several species of trees in this place. Given that people who visit this place, important people, each person plants a tree.
It is from this journey that the Uganda Martyrs are annually celebrated worldwide every 3rd of June. The journey began from here in Munyonyo, and this Mwafu tree, old as it is, remains part of the journey. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Thank you very much, Henry Okrut, and of course the team working behind the Namugongo stories. We shall be keeping you updated till the very D-Day. Now, the National Unity Platform President, Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, this week succumbed to police directives to suspend his countrywide mobilization tours until Monday this week. Kyagulanyi made the acceptance speech at the party headquarters in Makerere, Kavule. Details in this report.
The National Unity Party President, Robert Kyagulanyi, was supposed to continue with his nationwide tour, as he announced yesterday. With his team, they were meant to be in Palisa district, but were blocked at Sezibwa Bridge and ordered to return to Kampala. The attempts by the leader of opposition, Joel Sonyonyo, to speak to police on duty yielded negative results.
Now you block the other side, you block here too. What do you want? Madam Sikawa. Sikawa, you told us to reverse and go.
Yes, I'm guaranteeing your security ahead. I'll let you go.
What do you mean guaranteeing our security?
We are trying to get for security ahead.
What does that mean? But we are secure, we came secure. We came secure. I don't know, you're doing very confusing things, eh? You stopped us from going ahead. You told us to reverse and go. We have reversed.
The team was left with no option but to return to Kampala and continued waving at their supporters at some point, compelling police to throw tear gas canisters to disperse the crowds.
Hey, I don't even have any stone. We are fighting for you, my friends. We want better salaries for you.
Speaking at their party at Makerere, Kavule, Robert Kyagulanyi told the press that police response to their letter indicated that their mobilization rallies were contravening police orders, which he described as unfair.
To liaise with security people, the RPCs, DPCs, and DSOs. We did that. However, in the same letter, there were some ridiculous demands. Among them were that we don't hold public rallies and processions. But as you all know, other groups, other political parties, pressure groups, and political actors are having public rallies. We don't understand. What we don't agree with are the double standards. They are stopping us from having public rallies and processions. other actors are having public rallies and processions. They, in this letter, asked us to have our activities in town halls.
However, Kyagulanyi accepted police summons on Tuesday in which they are expected to agree on certain issues. If Tuesday meeting yields positive results, Kyagulanyi will hold a political rally in Mukono district that very day.
We've been asked to meet them on Monday to discuss this. So we've sat in a meeting with my fellow leaders and we've agreed that on Monday a group of our leaders will go to the police headquarters and engage the police and tell them the truth that we are telling you now, that they are operating on double standards. They are reduced to playing politics, and that is embarrassing them. They are spoiling the name of the police force, and the double standards should stop.
Now, government was this week asked to expedite the process of introducing the National Insurance Health Scheme as a sure way to guaranteeing inclusive access to quality health care to Ugandans. This comes in the heels of numerous concerns that the majority of Ugandans continue to suffer and die from curable ailments due to their vulnerability to afford quality medical services. Details in this report with Dorcas Kimono.
Matters Hospital Rubaga in October this year will celebrate 125 years of existence, having been started in 1899. In a rare show of gratitude to her clients and Ugandans at large, Uganda Matters Hospital Rubaga is rendering nearly free specialized medical services ranging from consultancy, eye and dental care, and checkups for most non-communicable diseases through what they termed a medical camp.
We wanted to bring out this hospital to the people, show it to the people that we are there, we are available, not only for the sick, but even for the healthy ones. We are marking 125 years of existence, of a service to Ugandans, of a service to the community, of being alive and still planning to get better and to serve many more people.
Louis Mwebe, a single father to an 8-month-old toddler, is one of those who turned up here at the Uganda Institute of Information, Communication and Technology in Nakawa to tap into this rare but golden opportunity.
Mwana adayina ekifa n'essenyiga abyamuleetedde omusumba ng'ayokya nnyo mbeera buli kaseera ndi ku puleesho beera nga bakubira essimu kino naye kati ali fine talina mpulira bulungi mpulira essanyu essanyu lyange kulaba ng'ono musanyufu.
By design, one pays 10,000 shillings only as entrance fee, but has access to all services in regard to their individual health needs.
So the purpose of such an expo is actually to bring the specialists to the people at a much subsidized rate, because entrance is just about 10,000 Ugandan shillings. Yes, which I think it could be a stretch on some pockets, but it's also affordable, so that still someone can still get the services of various subspecialists that are available at the expo at the same cost of 10,000 shillings.
We have seen a number of patients who are having challenges with eye care now that there is an influx in red eye, in the outbreak of red eye. So there's been an influx of patients that we have seen.
Naye lwakuba ekibi bakomekereza leero singa badde beeyongerayo okwo abantu bangi bali eyo balina obulumi.
With such testimonies, it's evident that majority of Ugandans are vulnerable in as far as access to quality medical services is concerned.
So our government should speed up or expedite the process of the National Insurance Health Scheme that is in pipeline to support Ugandans.
It's worth noting that Uganda Matters Rubaga Hospital is one of the few health facilities with an internationally accredited laboratory that carries out close to 500,000 laboratory tests annually. Dorcas Kimono, UBC News.
Furthermore, the Ministry of Education and Sports this week urged the private school owners and other stakeholders to support the digital enrollment of students into the national database for proper sectoral planning. While engaging these school proprietors, the Assistant Commissioner Statistics and Monitoring in the ministry, Vincent Sozi, expressed positive response in public schools and called upon the private schools to improvise resources Details in this report.
The Assistant Commissioner in charge of Statistics, Monitoring and Evaluation at the Ministry of Education and Sports, Vincent Sozi, has tipped private school proprietors on how to effectively and efficiently enroll their institutions onto the Education Management Information System, EMIS.
And we showed them why, as a government, we need this information for planning. Okay, we told them our obligation as a ministry and the area of improving access to education to all children, the areas of improving the quality of our education system, as well as efficiency and effectiveness of the education system.
The system intends to establish a baseline for students' verification to aid in education planning and management of assessments.
As a ministry, you cannot manage what you cannot measure, okay? That's why we need the data to generate statistics for these indicators as a government. And for government institutions, we also told them that now government is using EMIS in the area of planning and budgeting, capitation grants and so on.
Education private stakeholders have raised fears for the system, especially the issue of data protection and additional resources required to implement the arrangement.
When you are trying to get an EMIS number, there is a certain level where you reach and they ask for registration number. And some schools have not yet registered, they only have license. So how can we go about that?
If parents don't have the numbers to provide the guardians need in order to register these foreigners and refugee children. So what happens is the time comes and these children go back to their country.
The EMIS system comprehensively records data on various aspects, including learners, teachers, instrumental material, and infrastructure, which is designed to enhance efficiency and streamline the planning and budgeting processes. Abdul Nasir Luwama and Rogers Komagom for UBC.
Now, in a significant step towards promoting sustainability in Uganda, the CEO Summit in Uganda has launched the Only One Earth campaign. This initiative aims to empower Ugandans to adopt sustainable practices in their businesses. Let's watch this piece compiled by our reporter.
CEO Summit Uganda, leaders in organizational leadership and practice in East Africa, unveiled the Only One Earth campaign in their offices in Kampala. The campaign focuses on encouraging sustainable practices within the business community, aligning with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. The campaign kicks off with the Only One Earth program, a 4-day event in partnership with Quality Chemicals, Regenerate Africa, and the Carbon Global, scheduled for June 2024. Uganda's commitment to combating climate change is evident. In March 2023, the country revised its nationally determined contribution, aiming to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 24.7% and achieve significant environmental milestones by 2030.
Start to check what are we doing as a company? What can we do to change what we are doing that has been negatively impacting the climate? And we all appreciate in this room that SDG 13, which is climate action, is our biggest problem at the moment. It is the one that is timed and has a time issue, time factor to it. And that's why we at QCIL have decided to partner with companies like CEO Summit and Prudential to come over and leverage these strategic partnerships of these forward-looking companies to see how best can we, as a group, as a team who are already understanding the sustainability language, to bring other companies on board.
The program will cover understanding sustainability, sustainable leadership, and sustainable business practices, offering participants a blend of theory, hands-on experience, and real-world case studies. Leaders, we learn to operate in a manner that nurtures and preserves the planet.
So the essence of this, our drive at the CEO Summit Sustainability Impact Center is to indigenize sustainability, to stop making it look like it's something for the first world country. It's also very much for us. So we are going to try to quash any myths around sustainability, anything around greenwashing. But I think what also you are alluding to is greenwashing. Organizations that are just painting a plastic picture, yet behind the curtain there is a lot of filth going on. Yeah, so by the time GRI or by the time, for instance, EU taxonomy is nicely put before you in line with sustainability, you better conform to the standards to the dot.
The Only One Earth campaign underscores the critical need for businesses to integrate sustainable practices, ensuring a balanced and thriving ecosystem. This initiative marks a significant step towards a sustainable future for Uganda. Robert Katamba, UBC News.
Let's now take a short commercial break and be back with more weekly news roundup. Stay tuned.
Sigikira mulimo gwenkola gukanikira babakasitoma bupawasobuni kimba n'obwire obukutwala sente isomero ati ncho amukolesa enkola ya MTN mobile money ni migasita 1065 star 8 ntekam kodi namba y'omwana genda sente ninsasola ku luminta ino kuterimanizwa kono katunga esimu kuruga mu MTN bantereire okubanza ntakikirize nkaba amanyire bali bafere hanyuma nagenda nakakuza MTN yao nagamba ntungire simu ino kuruga mu MTN kyamazima okuba nkaba ntamanyire nti aliyo promotion hanyuma madamu akola MTN yangambira kyamazima kubasima muno mwebale muno akasente kabaire kenja kusasula school fees tamwe kujja bakasasuire akandi nja kasasulira mu bagenzi baye abatabandi mwebale muno.
Together we're unstoppable.
Ituba Uganda is here, the new licensed operator of the Uganda National Lottery. They have been appointed by the National Lottery and Gaming Regulatory Board as the official operator for a 10-year period, based on their operational excellence in other regions of Africa.
The National Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board is dedicated to ensuring that the lottery is transparent, well-managed and generates substantial revenue for national projects.
Ituba Uganda was selected through a rigorous process for their proven experience, financial stability and capacity for successful lottery operations.
Ituba Uganda will utilize advanced technology and expertise to offer an unmatched gaming experience for Ugandans. All funds will support vital government initiatives such as infrastructure, education, healthcare and sports, with a special emphasis on preparing for AFCON 2027.
So, join Ituba Uganda on this journey
of changing and transforming lives.
Gear up, grab your running shoes and join the race for life. Run 42, 21 or 5 kilometers to equip Kisoro Hospital's very first ICU. Then, after the finish line, groove all night at the ultimate dance showdown with DJs and performers from Uganda and Kigali. Secure your sport at virungamountainmarathon.org and be a part of history. Save the date, June 1st, 2024 at Shaza Ground, Kisoro Town. Race for a cause. Run for life.
Welcome back. You're still watching the weekly news roundup edition of the Lunchtime News here at UBC TV. Now, government officials from Tanzania and Uganda were urged to undertake realistic and practical facilitate trade and investment in both countries for sustained growth and development. This was emphasized at the closing of the second edition of the Uganda-Tanzania Business Forum held in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania's commercial capital. Dennis Ugwa was in Dar es Salaam and filed this report.
Public and private sector players from Uganda and Tanzania have expressed commitment and enthusiasm to jointly address the challenges of doing business in their respective countries. This is part of the Dar es Salaam Declaration following a two-day business forum.
Wishes are always wishes. Wishes which are not tied up with action, they remain wishes. They are synonymous to wishes. They can be illusion, daydreams. They want to give you an output. Now, maybe I don't want to see that happening, and I wish Excellencies, ambassadors who are here, please, kwa sababu mko kote kote, you help us to make this doable.
Strengthening trade and business linkages for favorable balance of trade between the two countries was emphasized at the high-level meeting.
Now it is time for action, and I want to assure you that these people who have been here are going to put into action, because they are the ones, for us, who have created opportunity for people to talk. But we're not in business, but we shall follow up.
With the constant change of the regional, continental and global business dynamics, it was recommended that the forum is held annually or biannually, and challenges raised should be amicably addressed.
We look forward to having a return of this business forum very soon in the Republic of Uganda, and as I promised, we are going to revenge, and our revenge is not going to be in bad faith. It's going to be in good faith, just to make sure that we tell you how far we have come, where we are, and where we want to go.
This year, it took a long time since the first forum to the second forum. We need to change. We need to go with time. The world is running about economy, and we are lagging behind. 5 years is too long.
Both delegations expressed commitment to continue engagements in various frameworks such as business forums, with a view of resolving and eliminating trade barriers, identifying business opportunities, addressing challenges to trade and investment, and undertaking joint ventures and collaborations.
We really look forward to enhancing that collaboration, particularly in areas, for example, aviation.
One of the cost drivers is logistics, high transport. So our recommendation as a private sector at this forum is that our countries take advantage of a multimodal transport system.
I urge my fellow East Africans, Ugandans, Tanzanians, and everybody else to ensure that the time is now. Stop the talking, let's do the walking.
Dennis Ugwa for UBC News in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania.
And furthermore, from this week, Total Energies Uganda commemorated its Youth Inclusion and Education Program, supporting over 15,000 youth beneficiaries at different levels of engagement that span from education, skilling and employment. The company is currently the largest oil and gas foreign investor in Uganda, overseeing the Tilenga upstream petroleum production project in the Albertine Graben, Western Uganda, of which it holds 56.7% participating interests. As part of its corporate social responsibility initiatives, Total Energies Uganda has over the years implemented several education initiatives, some of which include an ordinary and advanced level scholarship program targeting scholars from the Tilenga project districts, internship and graduate trainee program, vocational training and certification, international postgraduate scholarships, and the recently launched Tilenga Academy training program.
Of course, we cannot do that for all. We need to be unfortunately selective. We need to embark other major companies in the country to join the effort in order to make the impact as big as possible.
Ernest Rubondo, the Executive Director of the Petroleum Authority of Uganda, commends the various initiatives and acknowledges the key role of private support for the oil and gas industry's sustainability.
Many people think sustainability will come
when the oil has been sold, revenue has been got, and the programs and projects done are sustainable programs. Yes, that's true, and it's extremely important. But it's important to recognize that even in the process of preparing to produce oil, there are very important aspects of sustainability.
Some beneficiaries at the commemoration had a chance to share their experiences of how far the program has brought them.
I applied, they called, we're around 1,000 plus, but I went and did the interviews based on my physics and other knowledge. Exact software and everything, because they were asking theoretical questions. So fortunately, I was among the first 25 people to go through for that training.
Since inception of its operations in 2012, Total says that 13,000 beneficiaries have participated in the Tilenga Massive Open Online course. 327 have attained O and A-level secondary education scholarships. 200 beneficiaries are currently taking on the Tilenga Academy training and certification opportunities at the Uganda Petroleum Institute in Kigumba. Wadulo Markarnold, UBC News.
For having organized this event.
Now, as part of extending banking services to the people, NCBA Bank has launched its 5th bank in Namamve Industrial Park to meet the needs of the largest manufacturing firms. Now, this move will also see manufacturing have access to other financial services like access to affordable loans.
NCBA Bank has launched its 5th branch in Namamve Industrial Park aimed at meeting the unique needs to a thriving hub for manufacturers and home to the largest manufacturing firms. John Gachora, Group Managing Director of NCBA Bank Group, who presided over the launch, said the branch will empower entrepreneurs and businesses to expand and thrive in the region.
East Africa is a beacon of stability. I also said East Africa is where we see hope. And I said East Africa is where we see most development coming through. I also did say, if you look at Uganda, GDP growth of 5.3 last year, promising to do even better this year, and knowing the calmness and stability that we see even as we approach elections in 2026, this is a place I would encourage anybody to invest in.
Bank's entry offers a pipeline of innovative banking solutions and services tailored to meet the needs of local businesses, says Mark Muyobo, the Managing Director in NCBA Bank, Uganda.
That we have done is to ensure that we are closer to the manufacturers in their area of operation. As I mentioned, this is a 2,200 acre of industrial park, and more than 150 manufacturing organizations already established here, quite a number, over 200 that are coming up. So there is no better place to actually be rather than in the heart of the manufacturing hub of Kampala.
The extension of banking services across the country helps to bridge the financial inclusion gaps and help the government in its financial inclusion targets agenda, as Hannington Waswa, the Director Commercial Banking at Bank of Uganda, says.
These initiatives have enabled the bank to remain competitive and enhance outreach in the delivery of financial services to the convenience of customers, and are well in line with the Bank of Uganda's agenda to promote financial inclusion in the country. I therefore applaud the bank for these initiatives.
The launch coincided with the Customers Appreciation Dinner, where the bank was urged to tap into the informal sector for its success.
Point I want to make to you as a bank. There is an informal sector that nobody taps into. And that is one of the secrets of the success of MTN.
Sada Mubale, UBC News, Kampala.
Welcome back. You're still watching the weekly news roundup edition of the Lunchtime News. Now, in the world of sports, Uganda will, in the next 61 days, be represented in the 2024 Paris Olympic Games in France. So far, about 20 athletes, including runners, swimmers, and cyclists, and a rower, have qualified already for the Games, while some, like boxers and others, are still in qualifiers. Now, we talked to Olympian Ganzi Semo Mugula, who captained Team Uganda at London Olympics in 2012, on what exactly athletes must do between now and competition time.
In the world, for those who have been following the different final competitions before the qualification period elapses, you can see that most of athletes are now fine-tuning. So, for example, if I'm a runner, I'm fine-tuning speed work, because I've already done endurance. You're not going to build the endurance now. So it's speed work and rest plan. For sports like weightlifting, you're now doing flexibilities, making sure that you're nice and simple and flexible, but also doing final touches on how you're going to approach the competition. So everyone is also getting now, it's now more of a mental game, because you've done the physical work. There's nothing really much you're going to change in 63 days, which is really significant, unless you're on some drug which you're taking, which you're not aware of. But right now, you're really getting into the mental game, getting into what they call the zone, to be ready for the competition. Right now, we have some athletes who are still doing final qualification, are boxers who are out in Thailand. So right now, they're still in competition mode, but soon transitioning to be ready for the game. So right now, it's more of a mental, really 80% mental, 20% physical is what I can give you. So that's what I'll do, and that's what I was at my time in 2011 to 2012.
Now, at least once a year, a Ugandan Olympic Committee hosts learners from several schools to teach them about Olympism and how its values are all embracing in the modern world. The latest to visit were the learners from Kampala Community International School, and John Barnes Sentamo filed the report.
Contrary to what many think and believe, sports, especially Olympic sports, has many values that are even necessary for their existence in the public domain. For instance, the Olympics emphasize the three key values of respect, friendship, and excellence, which, when embraced in real life, are pertinent for coexistence.
The same values we have in sports, where we need excellence on the field of play, respect your opponent, and promote friendship with your different people from different countries. Those values transcend both sport and also can go into real life.
It's the reason that at least once a year Uganda Olympic Committee hosts learners with emphasis on young ones.
Collectively, it would be good to inspire, because we'd like to see more schools taking up sport, more schools supporting sporting activities, more schools putting in place facilities, because collaboration with schools is a very integral part.
This year, the beneficiaries of this project have been learners of Year 1 of Kampala Community International School, Naguru.
It inspires them with their learning. It encourages them to never give up and to be more interested in the world around them. And lots of them have left today, even if they're not going to be sports players, but they've left being inspired to do their very best and to be the top of their game and to never give up.
The learners benefited from tutorship of Olympian Ganzi Mugula, who captained the Uganda's team at the London Olympics in 2012.
Mr. Gandhi told us to work hard, never give up, and to try our best and make friends.
Some of them are saying they want to be lawyers, doctors, teachers, skaters, boxers. So they are really young, 6 years and 7 years, but it doesn't matter how young they are, as long as we start speaking to them and getting into their minds to inspire them to chase higher dreams and reach further than we have ever reached. So really my job today was to inspire the young generation who are going to be the adults for tomorrow.
Well, we've come to the end of our weekly roundup edition of the UBC News. However, we also would like to remind you that we're coming to the end of the month of May, coming into the month of June, where the last financial year will be ending, and we'll be getting into a new financial year. However, as Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, we're compelling you, how far are you as far as your 2024 dreams are concerned? Remember, we have 3rd of June coming up, Matters Day, and the financial year ending with a budget reading on the 13th of June. Put these into perspectives with your goals and catch you whenever we catch you. My name is Wadulo Markarnold. From the team in the control room, have yourselves a lovely afternoon.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Martyrs' Day is commemorated in Uganda on 3rd June annually. The day commemorates the 45 martyrs, both Catholic and Anglican, who were killed on the orders of Kabaka Mwanga II, then King of Buganda, between 1885 and 1887, for their refusal to renounce their Christian faith. On Monday, 3rd June 2024, Nebi Catholic Diocese will animate the celebrations under the theme, "But as for me and my household, we shall serve the Lord," Joshua 24:15. For the Anglican site, the Rwenzori cluster, which comprises of Munyoro Kitara, East and South Rwenzori, plus Masindi Diocese, will animate the celebrations under the theme, focusing on conforming to the truth of God's Word, Romans 12:1-2. Join us for the live broadcast of the celebrations on Monday, 3rd June at Namugongo.